What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another FPL video on the channel. And in today's one we are going to be looking at my team selection for double game week 32. But of course, before we do get into that, let's have a quick review on how we managed to perform in game week 31. And as you guys can see, we managed to get a score of 47 points, which meant I got a green arrow up to 448k. But I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, I'm actually still quite not happy with that score. I'm still not quite happy with my green arrow, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, before that Newcastle game was played, I was sitting at a rank of 380k and I was rubbing my hands thinking, yes, we've got Alexander Isak captain left, we've got Anthony Gordon left, surely my green arrow is going to get even better and we're going to get closer to that top 100k rank. But the total opposite happened. Alexander Isak blanking against that stinky Leicester team is an absolute disgrace. Anthony Gordon wasn't in the squad, so I got Foden's stinky 1 point off the bench. And then also players like Jacob Murphy, players like Tino Livramento absolutely smashed it, absolutely cooked, which destroyed my rank. And I actually ended up going backwards and down after that Newcastle game. So as I said, I was ranked at like 380k before that Newcastle game, which was a really big green arrow. And then after that game, I got pushed back down to 448k. And yes, in totality, it still is a green arrow. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am quite sad. I'm still quite disappointed because I just had a lot higher expectations in terms of my end result in game week 31. But yeah, all in all, it wasn't really the best week, if I'm being honest. You know, there was only 3 players in my team that actually provided me some decent FPL points, and that was big boy Jean-Philippe Mateta, Eberechi Eze. I guess you can include Nico Williams, but I was going to say Ruben Amorim, right? Ruben Amorim, the assistant manager, of course, was activated. He managed to get a 0-0 draw against Man City, which was a table bonus game, so a 10-pointer is okay. If I'm being honest, again, a little bit disappointed. I don't want to be too greedy, right? I don't want to be too greedy. But if I'm being totally honest, after watching that Man United Man City game, I do feel like we should have won the game, right? But yeah, as I said, a 10-pointer from Ruben Amorim, it's all right. I'll take it. But all in all, not really the best game week, if I'm being honest with you. So hopefully game week 32 is much better. But yeah, that's a quick summary of game week 31. Nothing really to write home about. Pretty disappointing, if I'm being totally honest. So let's just move on to my team selection for game week 32. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and have a look at my team selection for double game week 32. And we'll start things off with the assistant manager and the defense. And in goal, we've got David Raya, and then a back three of William Saliba, Nico Williams, and Konate. And for my assistant manager, I am going to switch from Ruben Amorim to Eddie Howe. Now, I do want to let you guys know, I've not actually made this move yet, but I'm like 99% sure I will be making this move. I'm just waiting for press conferences. So yeah, let's talk about Eddie Howe, right? Because I want to explain to you guys why I really do like Eddie Howe for the assistant manager this week. Number one, Newcastle have a double game week. Manchester United at home, Crystal Palace at home. And to be honest with you guys, I just see 2 out of 2 wins there for Eddie Howe. And I see Eddie Howe getting around 18, 19 or 20 points with the assistant manager. I see back-to-back wins there for Newcastle. I think they'll easily beat Manchester United. I think they'll beat Crystal Palace. And yeah, I just see Eddie Howe being the best assistant manager for this double game week 32, and that is just my honest opinion. Of course, there is no table bonus opportunity there for Eddie Howe. However, I still see him getting the most points for an assistant manager this week. Now, you guys might say, at my terrible rank at 450k, I should take a risk and go for Oliver Glasner. And I do understand that. However, there's 2 issues with this. My personal feeling on what the results will be, right? Man City away, Newcastle away. I don't see Palace getting any wins here. Maybe 2 draws at most, but even then, I just don't see them getting a draw at St James's Park. Maybe at the Etihad they can get a draw, but even then, it just feels a little bit too far-fetched for me. It really does. And also, you guys already know, man, I've already got 3 Crystal Palace players, right? And I've only got 2 free transfers, so for me, it doesn't make sense to take out one of my Crystal Palace attackers to free up a slot to go for Glasner, right? It just doesn't make sense to use both my transfers to do that. I'd rather just go straight from Ruben Amorim to Eddie Howe. And I did sort of plan for this on my wild card, right? So I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to go for Eddie Howe. As I said, for me, yeah, going for Oliver Glasner just doesn't really make sense. And then we look at sort of, if you were to look at like the single game week, the other table bonus games that we have in game week 32, they're just not good at all. They're just not good. You know, you've got Leicester against Brighton, you've got Everton against Forest, you've got Southampton against Aston Villa, you've got Brentford against Arsenal, you've got Ipswich against Chelsea, West Ham against Liverpool. I mean, these table bonus games are absolutely stinky. And you've also got Ruben Amorim, Manchester United against Newcastle, right? And I just don't see any of these table bonus games paying off, right? So with that being said, I'm sticking with Eddie Howe. It's simple as that, right? I just wanted to quickly explain that. But we do have also, like I said, Raya, Saliba, Williams and Konate. Now, double Arsenal defense, I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not feeling confident with double Arsenal defense, right? They've just come off the back of a fantastic result in the Champions League against Real Madrid. Fair play to Arsenal, bro. Let me just... round of applause. That was a sensational performance. But I have to be honest, we're back to the Premier League now, right? And I'm not really confident in the Arsenal defence because I think they're going to rotate a lot. I do still expect Saliba to play, and I do still expect David Raya to play. So that's a positive. However, I just don't see Arsenal getting a clean sheet. I'm going to be honest. I just think they're going to rotate a lot. They're really going to prepare for that away, the second leg away at the Bernabeu. And as I said, they're going to rotate. I can see a lot of sort of fringe players getting starts. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford do manage to get a goal. So yeah, if I'm being honest, this double Arsenal defence, I'm not confident at all. I'm not really expecting much. In terms of, you know, for the rest of the season, will I keep double Arsenal defence? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Even if they do, obviously, well, I'm 99% sure they'll make it through to the next round of the Champions League. I still do plan to keep double Arsenal defence simply because I just don't really want to waste transfers on defenders. I just think in the Premier League at the moment, there's not really any defence in the league that really convinces me a lot, right? A lot of teams are conceding. There's not many clean sheets going around. So, yeah, I don't really want to waste transfers moving from one defender to another. As long as Saliba is fit, as long as Raya is fit, I think I'll keep them for the remainder of the season. Now, in terms of Nico Williams, Konate, feeling pretty confident, I guess you could say. You know, with these two defenders, I mean, typically throughout the season, they have been relatively good good in terms of their defense. But yeah, recently, both teams have been pretty poor. So again, I don't know if I'm expecting too much. But on paper, if you just look at it on paper, having a Forest defender against Everton at home is very good. Having a Liverpool defender at West Ham at home is very good. So hopefully they can get the job done. But again, not really feeling too confident in my defense, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah, that's how the defense is looking. On the bench, I've got Mykolenko and Kuzanov. I could start Kuzanov instead of Konate or Williams, but I just want to go for the upside. It doesn't really make sense starting Kuzanov when I've got triple Palace attack, right? So yeah, Kuzanov's going to be on the bench. And also, is he going to start? I don't know. He's not played the last 2 games for Man City. So yeah, I'm going to keep him on the bench for now. Mykolenko as well. He is actually flagged, so we'll have to see if it's a really serious injury after the press conferences. But yeah, I do plan to bench him this week. So yeah, that's how my defense is looking. Let's move on to the midfield. And in midfield, we do have Anthony Gordon, Mohamed Salah, Eberechi Eze, and Ismaila Sarr. And for the front 3, we also do have Alexander Isak, Omar Marmoush, and big boy Jean-Philippe Mateta. I thought, you know what, why not just do the midfield and attack together? So let's start off with Anthony Gordon, right? Because I do think he is an issue in this team. And I am recording this before press conferences. And I'm just going to pray. I'm just going to pray, man. Fingers crossed Anthony Gordon is fit for this double game week. Please, man. I need him to play both games. I must say, I must hold my hands up. I fucked up. I made a big mistake going for Anthony Gordon when he was already flagged, when he was already injured on wildcard. It's just a stupid thing to do. Seriously, what was I thinking? I have no idea, guys. Honestly, it was just so stupid. I've got no one to blame but myself. I should have just picked the safe and obvious option that was right there, which was Jacob Murphy, right? He was fit. We knew he would start. We knew he would get good minutes. Why did I take the risk and go for Anthony Gordon when he was already an injury doubt? On a wild card as well. It's just so stupid, and I really just I just want to slap myself for being just such an idiot. Honestly, it was a dumb decision, and I just it's so frustrating, right? Because if he is not fit for this game, and Eddie Howe says that Gordon is still unable to play, then I could end up using a transfer to go from Gordon to Murphy, and it's something I don't really want to do. I really don't want to waste a transfer taking out Gordon. But again, if he's not going to play, I feel like I've got to do it because I can't even trust Foden, right, to get points against Palace, let alone get a start against Crystal Palace. So yeah, I really am hoping that Gordon is going to be fit, and if he's not, there is a chance, guys, I could end up using my other free transfer to go from Gordon to Murphy. which just feels like a waste, man. It does feel like a waste, and I feel like transfers are really valuable for the remainder of the season. And I must say, right, one thing that I feel like I've, I guess, done wrong with the assistant manager is basically switch between them, because it's making me use transfers. Now, of course, you could say that Ruben Amorim was a success, but then again, I could have just started with Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe actually got 11 points against Leicester, right? So if I just started with Eddie Howe, I would have saved the transfer. And what I'm saying is that I feel like I am wasting transfers, and I'm going to suffer later on down the line, right? Because there's a potential double in Game Week 36, there's a potential blank in Game Week 37, and I won't have enough free transfers to navigate my team around those blanks and doubles. And it could cost me. It could cost me, but ultimately, I really wanted to go for Ruben Amorim because it was a table bonus game and I wanted to take that risk. So yeah, it is what it is. But I also wasted a transfer going from Gabriel to Saliba. You know, Gabriel got injured, so that messed me up. And now I could potentially be wasting another transfer to go from Gordon to Murphy. It's just not really ideal. It's not ideal, right? The plan was only to be realistically using transfers for my assistant manager, not on my starting 11. And right now I'm doing both. So yeah, it's pretty annoying. It's pretty frustrating, but I'm just hoping Anthony Gordon is fit, man. But yeah, we also do have Mohamed Salah, who, yeah, I won't be captaining. It's pretty obvious that, you know, Isak's going to be captain this week, right? It's a double game week. And yeah, for me, Isak's a standout captain. Also, a lot of people will be using the triple captainship on Isak. So yeah, I'm not even going to bet against Isak this week. He will be my captain. Definitely not Mohamed Salah. He's only got a single game week and he's been pretty stinky in recent weeks. So yeah, we also do, of course, have the Triple Palace attack. Now, for me, Triple Palace attack, I must say, I'm actually really excited. I'm really excited about the Triple Palace attack as a Sarr and Mateta. I feel like not many people have the Triple Palace attack. A lot of people have two attackers and Munoz, but I really feel like this Triple Palace attack in the next 2 game weeks will... They'll step up, right? And I think every single one of those players there, Mateta, Eze, and Sarr, I think they'll play their part, right? In these next 4 games, right? The back-to-back doubles in 32 and 33. I see these 3 players chipping in with goals and assists. I really, really do see it. And I don't see Palace getting any clean sheets. So I do expect, right, the combination of going for Triple Palace attack to be better than the combination of going for 2 Palace attackers and Munoz. I'm hoping that Palace, well, I do expect Palace to concede, right, against Man City away and Newcastle away. So I'm hoping that Munoz doesn't get more goals, doesn't get more assists than Eze, Sarr and Mateta. If that's the case, then yeah, it means I made the right decision going for Triple Palace attack. But yeah, I'm really expecting something. I'll be surprised if they don't do anything. I'll be honest, right? I think Man City defense is really, really poor. I know they've got back-to-back clean sheets against Leicester and Manchester United, but I mean, look at those teams, Manchester United and Leicester. And to be honest with you, against Manchester United, City were lucky to get a clean sheet. So I can see Palace getting maybe a goal or 2 in that game. And again, if I had to predict who would be involved in the goals and assists, it's going to be at least 2 of the 3 players, the 3 Palace attackers that I've got, right? 2 of Mateta, Eze and Sarr. So yeah, hopefully they get the job done. But looking forward to this double, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, man. Having Triple Palace attack does feel fun. Having potentially double Newcastle attack with Eddie Howe feels fun. So yeah, let's just see what happens, man. I'm actually hoping it's goals galore. You know what? That Newcastle versus Palace game, a 4-3 type of game, a 4-2 type of game to Newcastle would be absolutely sensational. So yeah, yeah, and then we've also got Marmoush at home to Crystal Palace. I'm hoping he scores. Simple as that. A lot of people have Munoz. A lot of people have Dean Henderson. I'm hoping Marmoush can get a goal to wipe out that Palace clean sheet. We'll be there. We'll be there for that. And I'm actually hoping Man City get the win as well. To be honest with you guys, I'm actually hoping Man City do get the win. Because I know there's going to be people out there that have got maybe Oliver Glasner as their assistant manager. So yeah, a Man City win would be absolutely great. A Marmoush goal or 2 would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that is how my team is looking for double game week 32. In all honesty, I do like it, right? I do like it. I think it looks good on paper. Yeah, on paper it does look good. I do have my concerns over, like, you know, double Arsenal defense, Liverpool recently with the way they've been defending. But on paper, you know, these do look like good fixtures for my team. And I'm happy with it, right? I'm happy with it. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that we can get a really big green arrow. I'm hoping that Anthony Gordon is declared fit. He's had a long rest. He's not played in a while. So yeah, man, that's the main thing for me this week. Is Anthony Gordon fit? Will he play in the double game week? I really hope he does. I really hope he does. If he doesn't, we could be in a serious problem. But yeah, that is my team for double game week 32, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you did enjoy. Make sure to smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy FPL Ryan, and I will catch you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm out. Peace.